We pray for blessings, we pray for peace, comfort for family, protection while we sleep.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today I thought I would do something a little bit different. Elliot is asleep right now, so I'm hoping that I can get through this before he wakes up. I don't have a lot, but I just wanted to go ahead and try and film a video based on parenting advice that others had given us and or myself, and we either did not use because it did not work out for us, or most of the reasons for these is because it just didn't work out for us. These reasons that I'm about to list are not bad reasons or bad parenting advice. It's just it simply was not in our favor for whatever reason. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into the advice that I got, and I'm not gonna name any names on who gave me the advice, just because I don't want to bash anybody. Like I said, it's not because we didn't like the advice, it just didn't work out for us for whatever reason. I will explain why it didn't work out for us. For the first one, it says don't co-sleep with your baby. I had a lot of people tell me not to co-sleep with Elliot, and when I actually personally first found out I was pregnant, Andrew and I had said we weren't going to co-sleep with him. It ended up not working out. As most of you guys know, I did nurse Elliot for 13 months of his life, and it just didn't work out. I ended up nursing him at nighttime because I was so tired. I would just latch him on and fall asleep, and then that's how that happened, which actually leads me to that next one, which is don't fall asleep nursing. You know, a lot of mainly people that nursed told me not to fall asleep nursing him, and I mean it is wonderful advice, because I mean it isn't good to fall asleep while nursing him. It was just so convenient for me at nighttime when for his nighttime feeds and stuff like that. Would I do it again? Maybe, probably. Because when you know it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're tired, you just latch them on, lay down with them, and fall right back to sleep. So I mean, it wasn't bad advice, but I didn't listen to it. Do I regret it? Not really, because I ended up being able to get some sleep throughout the night, and I was able to be very active during the day with him. The next advice was use a bottle. I got this a lot from many people, actually. A lot of people, when Elliot was cluster feeding, if you don't know anything about cluster feeding, I will leave a link down at the bottom because it is extremely informational. I didn't know anything about cluster feeding until Elliot was going through it. Unfortunately, it's not a very fun time for mom or for baby or for dad. It's actually a very hard time to go through. Elliot cluster fed for the first 3 months of his life, and it was by far the most painful, most tiring, most it was very hard. It was a very, very difficult time for us, especially mainly for me, because I did not use a bottle. I did not pump. I exclusively nursed Elliot, and I loved every single second of nursing him, even though it was tiring at the first 3 months. I did not give up, and mainly the reason why most people told me to give him the bottle was because they did not think I was producing enough milk, which made me wonder about my own body and made me think I wasn't producing enough milk. So I went to go see his OB. His OB transferred me to, who by the way told me he was eating enough because he was gaining weight, he was growing, his hair was growing, his nails were growing. Like I said, his jaundice went away, so they knew I was producing milk. So, and he was getting the right amount of wet diapers and poopy diapers during the day, and that's how that was all signs showing that I was producing more than enough milk for him to feed off of. But I still didn't feel very secure about it, so she sent me to a lactation consultant. Sorry if you guys hear like slamming doors or noise in the background. Like I said, Elliot's asleep in there, and I have the white noise on for him, and our neighbors downstairs slam their door constantly all the way up until midnight, so sorry if you guys hear that. I went to the lactation consultant, and she listened to my concern, and she said that I was producing more than enough milk, that I didn't want to produce too much milk because it could have led to mastitis. So I listened to both of them, and I also have a friend, my best friend Karina. She nursed her son. She's actually still nursing her son, so congratulations to her for making it out this far and how strong she is. I applaud her. Her son is going to be 2, I think, this year, or 3 this year. He'll be 3 this year. She gave me a lot of advice because she's such a big believer in breastfeeding. She doesn't bash people or anything like that. She's just for herself personally is a big believer in breastfeeding for her children, just like I am for my children. Yeah, I feel like I'm just rambling now about that, but bottom line, most of the time people told me to use the bottle is because they wanted me to give him formula, because I thought I was starving Elliot, but I wasn't starving him. He was gaining weight, he was getting enough dirty diapers, he was growing completely fine. He just is a little tiny baby, and I still get that to this day. Like, even this doctor is like, I'm done nursing. He still has 2 to 3 glasses of milk a day, so whole milk, and he eats breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks in between. So he has 6 meals a day. He eats constantly through the day. And he's just really tiny. I mean, there's just some babies that are tiny, and then there's some babies that are, you know, they're just really big. Which actually is pretty much the same topic. My next one would be giving up nursing. I had a lot of people tell me just to give it up because I wasn't feeding him a lot. People kept telling me I wasn't feeding him. I heard it left and right to stop breastfeeding, not because they thought it was bad I was breastfeeding, not because people thought it was uncomfortable, not because people thought it was disgusting, but simply because they were worried. And I 100% understand why they would tell me to stop breastfeeding. I get it. You know, I feed Elliot, 10 minutes later he wants to eat again. You think that you're not feeding him right, because you can't tell how many ounces are actually inside your breast when you're breastfeeding. So I mean, with a bottle, you can clearly see through the bottle how many ounces you're putting of formula, which I did have a few people. It wasn't like an argument or anything like that. It was just more of a concern that people had. And I 100% appreciate them being concerned about Elliot's health and his growth and stuff like that, as they are still today. And I'm very lucky that they you know, I have family and he has family that is concerned about him. But I mean, I did listen to the doctors, I listened to his OB, I listened to the lactation. Sorry, I'm gonna jump right in here really quickly. I know I keep saying OB, I really do mean his pediatrician. This was the day I was getting the flu, so I wasn't all there in the head. Carry on. Consultants, because I saw one when I was in the hospital, and then I saw one again after having Elliot. So, and I even reached out to a lactation consultant online, who was, by the way, extremely helpful, because she helped me kind of wean Elliot off of cluster feeding. So on to my next one, it would be give him a binky. This one, this one wasn't bad advice or anything like that. It was just funny advice actually, because Elliot refused to take the pacifier when he was a baby. We tried and tried and tried. We tried different pacifiers. We tried even one that my dad brought from Mexico that supposedly every baby uses, because I guess like the pacifier had like, I don't know, I don't even remember, to be honest. It was a white pacifier, and I remember the nipple of it was like brown or whatever, and it had, I think it had like honey inside the nipple, but the honey did not go into the baby, it stood inside. So as soon as he started growing teeth, like I completely gave up on that nipple because I was scared he was going to get a hold of the honey, because honey is not good for newborns. But yeah, a lot of people tried telling me to give him a binky. It just didn't work out for us. He rejected the binky, he rejected the bottle, mainly because for the simple fact of me nursing, the binky texture of the binky was just something different for him, and he used me as a pacifier when he was teething, he used me as a pacifier when he was cluster feeding, and he used me as a pacifier when he was colic. So I mean, I was his binky, and I didn't see anything wrong with that. So the binky just didn't work out for us. And let's see, moving on to the next topic, which was let him fall asleep whenever. So as far as like this goes, it means basically don't put him on a sleeping schedule. I had a couple of people tell me, not a lot, just a few people, tell me not to put him on a sleeping schedule, which made complete sense when they trot out their reasons. They said not to put him on a sleeping schedule simply because if he's on a sleeping schedule, then I won't be able to do anything. Let's say his sleeping schedule, or right now he's falling asleep. I'm switching his sleeping schedule. So right now he's falling to sleep between 7 and 7:30 at night. So if I wanted to go do something at 7 o'clock at night, I couldn't go do it because, you know, he was already sleepy by 6:30 or 6 o'clock or whatever. And it makes sense. Like, if you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. I didn't listen to the advice because I wanted to make sure Elliot was getting enough sleep. Baby needs at least approximately 12 hours of sleep at night. I know newborns, it's a different time frame, and for every age it's a different time frame, but I wanted to make sure that Elliot had a routine at nighttime and he went to sleep at a certain time, because I wasn't going to be out all the time. I'm actually never really out, and I didn't really plan on being out late. So to me, it was more convenient for me to put him on a sleeping schedule, because if, like, for an example, he falls asleep at 7 or 7:30 right now, I will have freedom until he wakes up looking for mom, because we're trying to convert him from co-sleeping to the crib currently right now. So he does wake up in a panic looking for us. So it's been like an off and on thing that we've been trying to do. And I can't let him do the crying method, one, because we don't want to, and two, because we live in an apartment complex, and we don't want him disturbing the neighbors at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yesterday he did really good. He fell asleep between 7 and 7:30, and I think he woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. So he did actually really good yesterday. So that was the first night that he got mostly through the night. But yeah, so letting him fall asleep at whatever time he decides to fall asleep was just not gonna work for me, because let's say he decided to fall asleep at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm tired by 8 o'clock. I would have had to stay awake with him while Andrew sleeps in bed because he has work. I would have had to stay awake with him until 2 o'clock in the morning and not know what time I was going to wake up the next day with him. So to me, it just didn't work out. I know it works out for some parents, And for those that it does work out for, congratulations. But to me, a schedule was just something I needed to do for my own sanity and for his health. Okay, and then for the last one, it is wake and feed every 3 to 4 hours. Now, let me go ahead and just say about this one. Waking to feed every 3 to 4 hours, if you really think about that, you don't really get too much sleep at night because it's every 3 hours after he's, or from the beginning of his feed. So let's say he woke up at 12 to feed, midnight to feed. And he was done, let's say he was done at 12:30 or 12:45. That means I would have to lay him down, get myself back to sleep, and then wake up again at 3 o'clock. That was a lot of work. And I did do this. And I have this one on here for a specific reason. I don't plan on doing this with the second baby. I don't plan on doing this with her at all, because I think me waking Elliot up in the middle of the night got him into a routine of waking up himself. And I personally think I'm going to just nurse the baby whenever she wants to be nursed. I'm not going to wake her up. Like, I had an alarm clock set, you know, and if it wasn't for me, he probably would have slept completely through the night as a newborn, which he mostly did. Like, as a newborn, he only woke up himself. I think he only woke up like 2 times a night. If I remember, I really don't remember. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 times a night. He would wake up himself. And I feel like if I would have just let him sleep, he would have been already like self-taught to sleep through the night, and he will just wake up whenever he's hungry. And I think that's what I'm gonna do with this next one, because I did listen to this advice and I did not care for the advice, because for the simple fact of, like I said, I think it got him into a bad habit of waking up in the middle of the night. So the advice to me, I wouldn't say it was bad advice, because for health reasons, that's good advice. For mental mommy reasons, it's not very good advice. So I don't think I'm gonna be doing it with this one. Things that I have said that I wasn't gonna do with Elliot when I first had him, or when I was pregnant with him, that I ended up doing. One thing is co-sleeping. I said I wasn't gonna co-sleep with him, and I am. Another thing would be letting him watch TV. I do let him watch TV. I did say I was gonna only keep it like educational or religious. Didn't work out. I do let him watch a little bit of cartoons. For myself, in the morning when I'm still kind of slowly waking up and getting my day started, I'll let him watch one TV show with his breakfast. But he has to sit at the table, and whatever he can see from the table to the TV is all he gets. And then after breakfast, he plays. We play with toys. We do a little learning time, and we don't do a lot of learning time. We only do like maybe like 10-15 minutes a day of learning time. And I'm not consistent with it. Like, it's not like an everyday thing that I do. It is a sporadically throughout the week thing that I do. But that was one thing that I did say I wanted to do, and I am keeping to it, is some learning time with him. Here, you want to write? Oh, push the button. Push the button so you can write. Push the button. Push it. Harder. There you go. Now, I think that I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because we are coming up to a snack time. It's 2 o'clock. He just woke up from a 12 o'clock nap and it's his snack time. So I'm gonna give him a little oranges, some cuties right now.
Dada.
Yeah, you see Dada? Where's Dada?
Dada.
Yeah. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And we will see you guys all in our next video. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Dada.
Bye-bye.
Dada.
Say bye-bye.
Dada.
Bye-bye.
Dada.
You're not gonna say bye-bye today?
Dada.
Do you want a snack? Yeah? You want some cuties? Yeah? Go sit down so you can have a snack. On your chair. Where's your chair? There, you got your snack. You happy? Are you happy now?
No.